We call the Wednesday, 12 o'clock, June 14th meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Presiding Commissioner Bob Houston.
Present.
Associate Commissioner District 1 Monty Kisner.
Present.
And Associate Commissioner District 2 Ryan Johnson.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
So moved.
We are going to make a correction on that. The REACH grant, resolution number 2342, we're still waiting for some information back on that, so that will be removed from today's agenda and placed on a later agenda when we get the information we need. Good with that? Okay. With that correction, all in favor of...
Do you need a second?
Excuse me, I'll second that.
Thank
today.
you.
All in favor of accepting the agenda as corrected? 2 votes for, 0 against. Need a motion to approve the minutes from June 7th, 2023.
So moved.
I'll second that. All in favor? 2 votes for, 0 against. Resolution number 23-48, approving an amendment to number 2 to agreement DH 2200512238 with the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. I need a motion.
So moved.
I'll second that. Sarah?
Is this the WIC amendment or the ELCED?
This one is the ELC.
Okay. Yeah, this is just an amendment to an existing contract that we already have with DHSS, extending the contract until July 31st of 2024 instead of ending on July 31st, 2023.
Any questions? Thank you, Sarah. All in favor of resolution 2348? 2 votes for, 0 against. Resolution passes. Resolution number 23-49, approving amendment number 1 to agreement ERS 04523094 with the Missouri Department of Health and Human Services. I need a motion.
So moved.
I'll second that. Sarah?
And this is an amendment to our WIC contract with DHSS. It's a change in the budget, so 2 different budget lines are being changed. The program is adding $1,866 in the budget line for program enhancements. This will add a recliner to the breastfeeding space for the WIC office, provide 2 different training courses, and provide funding to update signage. Missouri WIC went through a logo change last year, and so this is providing some funds to help with that. It also removes a little bit, $418.06 in the budget line for the WIC conference.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
All in favor of resolution number 23-49? 2 votes for, 0 against. Resolution 2349 passes. Number 9, Cass County Collector requesting disbursement of 2022 tax surplus money. Certificate of purchase number 22-07, tax sale number 51, taxpayer name Chief,
You got it.
X Kiluma Lamas, an amount of $3,648.15 payable to Crystal Clark. I need a motion.
So moved.
I'll second that. Chris, can you pronounce that name?
I cannot.
He can't chimble it.
I have. We have spent a substantial time trading emails and certified letters. It's been a difficult tax sale, but this is a redemption. The chief did provide us enough money orders that added up to the amount due that we can redeem the property. And Crystal Clark is a real estate investor from Peculiar and is excited to probably be done with this one.
Okay. Any questions for Chris? Thank you, Chris. Appreciate
And
it.
I'll be back for comments later, just to give you an update on the tax sale. We sent 290 notices out certified yesterday. So I'll come back and give you a brief update.
Okay.
Thank you.
All in favor of this certified purchase number 22-07, the refund to Crystal Clark? 2 votes for, 0 against. Miscellaneous business. At this time, I think the chamber is here. Would like to speak to the commission. Please step forward, state your name.
Colby Carl. Good afternoon, and thank you for allowing us to come before you to speak. The Chamber Foundation has recently been reinvigorated, and we have several things that we have going right now. One thing, I think you have your packet here, and the one thing that we would like to get permission of right now is out by the Justice Center to put some silhouettes, some 8x8 silhouettes, so that will be the beginning of the size, and then when we cut it down. We like to concentrate on the Burnt District Festival, order number 11. Make these silhouettes will be out of either 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch steel, according to our engineer when we get that far. And what we're asking for right now is permission to do that. We have funding already approved for the first 2, and the initial thought would be 10 along 2 Highway. And we're also going to have that surveyed to make sure where we place them will be the proper thing. I want to thank Holly for putting this presentation together. She did an excellent job. And if you read here on the first one, the scope of the project is that Cass County is deep in history. And between Kansas City and Joplin, there really isn't much going as far as tourism and history. And we would like to change all that by putting these silhouettes out. If you remember up by Bannister Mall, they had those silhouettes, and some of them were like a buffalo and an Indian and things like that. We want to do it, people leaving the Burnt District, like a child being carried by his mother. John's putting together some history for us here. Perhaps a small child leading a goat or something like that. And we haven't got far enough. If we want to light them, or if we do, it will probably be solar lights, rather than electrical outlets on that. But anyway, they'll be steel, and they'll be allowed to oxidize and rust. They'll be just very, very authentic. It's going to take probably about $2,500 for each silhouette. And like I say, we have 2 already paid for, which is 20% of what we're asking for today. And they'll be similar to the ones up there. And so right now, that is what we are asking for. And our vision in the future, hopefully not too distant future, is to build a tourism center, information center, so people can come right off from 49 Highway and perhaps get a soda and information. This will be for the entire county. Peculiar has expressed interest in having a silhouette there as well as Belton. And so hopefully we can get this thing going and we can put them in the county. As people come into Cass County, they can see that. And ours will be lying on number 2 Highway. Whether we talk about the 49, putting them on the east side, but you just have to really be looking for them to see them if they're on 49. On 2 Highway, there's lots of traffic on 2, and you can't miss them. And so that's basically where we are right now. And you'll see some. This is a brochure of one of them. It's not a very good picture, but anyway, that's one of that they have up by Bannister Mall. We have prices on the pipe, or from Steel and Pipe Company. The price they have given us is $18,034. That's the initial price of the steel, and then we have to have them plasma cut. And steel is so heavy, they'll be in 4x4 sheets, and then we'll stack one on top of the other. Or 4x8 sheets. I'm sorry, 4x8. We'll stack one on top of the other. That will give us an 8x8 silhouette to cut from. And so that's the price that we have. And eventually, like I say, not today, we're not asking for permission today, but hopefully someday we can put a information center up there. Does any of the foundation committee have any projects that they would like to discuss or to add anything that I've missed?
I would just say that Holly Stark, what we're working on today, what we're looking for today is approval and something in writing from the commission giving permission for the placement of the first few, not all 10 would be at the Justice Center at that location. And included in the packet is an aerial site view of the area around the current district memorial. We would like to proceed with having that area surveyed so we can make sure that we would be placing anything in any easements or right-of-ways, because there are a couple of utility easements, I think, on the east side of that property and so forth. So we would, before we proceed with getting that survey done, we would want to make sure that we wouldn't want to spend any funds until the commission has set aside that we do have permission to put those there. So today what we're asking for is the commission to put something in writing and, some sort of guarantee that we have the right to put those there. We would start with the first 2 there, and then we would seek the other locations throughout the county, because this really would be a countywide effort, not just localized to Harrisonville. We have already been working with our state and federal representatives on some grant opportunities that might be available for funding to further tourism. I mean, it's kind of a multi-pronged thing. It is based in history, because that's something we're rich with here in Cass County, but by attracting that, using history as a way to attract tourists here would be an economic impact to our existing retailers. So the focus wouldn't just be purely on history. We would hope that if we had a visitor center, the history would be the attraction of other things, and we could then promote the other businesses and retail industries and things that we have here in the county. So we would want space in that visitor center for every community in the county.
Yeah,
So 2 is what you were gonna put up out here. You got plans for more than?
Well, no, I don't know for sure how many we're gonna put up out here. We're gonna start out with 2.
Okay.
Because that's what we have funded.
Okay.
But they'll eventually be up to, what, 8 or 10 maybe?
But the original project was for 10
For 10.
placed throughout the county, but we have to start somewhere.
Mhm.
And the ability to raise funds, you have to prove that you can do it, what they would look like, and then people would have a visual idea of what that would look like, and then try to raise funding. Our idea would be to go to the other communities and ask them to raise the funds for the one in their specific community, like the Decatur's already expressed an interest. Ideally, up and down the 7 Highway corridor with Rut Lake traffic would be a great place, because 7 Highway is, divided in relatively level as far as elevation. There's some great opportunities to put there where they would be seen. We would like to contact the Cass County Hospital or the Cass Regional Center about maybe some place on their property there, because again, the elevation is high. It could be visible from lots of areas from I-49. So there really is a thoughtful intent and purpose about where these would go to try to spark interest, have people say, hey, what are those? Maybe Google as they're going down the highway and say, oh my gosh, we didn't even know that this happened. And the idea of it really being historically accurate as people were fleeing. People had to flee Cass County while their homes and farmsteads were being burned around them. So it kind of is a very poignant thing as part of our history, I think, that would pique interest and have people then want to stop and find out more about it.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, going up and down 49 Highway and 7 Highway, all the traffic, if they see them throughout the county,
Yeah, I'm saying somewhere around Nico Seed area, I'm figuring what we may be looking at too. With the representative sitting in the
So those out there on the Justice Center property, we're getting ready to, we're putting new power poles out there for the parking lots we just finished, and they're gonna light our signs out there, so I'm sure we'll be able to tie onto that to light the signs anyway, because solar's pretty good for a while, it just doesn't last.
Yeah, well, that's great, yeah.
It'd be good to see at night. Paul, do we need to write up a resolution on this and put it on the, we won't get it done today, but we'll get it on an upcoming agenda to get it approved, so we can go ahead and do that out there. And, because utilities, want to make sure we're not hitting anything while we're out there, just like Holly said. Bobby Ray probably knows exactly where the right of way is out there, is my guess. And I'd like for us to get with him, since he's kind of the caretaker of all the facilities out there. And I'm sure he'll, he's saying where he wants it out there, but we'll work with him, if that sounds good. Ronnie, you got any other questions?
Nope.
I think it's a great
It's a
project.
good idea.
And I think, I feel like the commission will approve it.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, is there any of them cigarettes left over from up the Bannister? What do they do with them? They go to scrap metal, or?
I don't know.
Couple of
I'd
them
like
weren't
to
too
have
bad
them.
looking, yeah. Yeah.
It'd take a crane to move them down, but we
Well,
could do
would.
it.
How big are
Yeah.
those ones up there compared to these? Do you know?
They're 12 foot by 10 foot up
12 by
there.
10?
They're a little bigger.
Oh, yeah.
See, the reason most of the metal comes in 8 foot. And that, rather than have to have a special order,
Yeah.
and the 4 foot will stack one on top of the other and
Yep.
weld them together after they're plastic cut. And so, and they'll be set in concrete, and if anybody wants their name on the bottom of one, all they gotta do is pay for it.
Well, that's the best idea I've heard in a while, just to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, we'd just like to strike while the iron is hot, because we do have the funding for 2 of them. This project really seems
Yeah.
to have some traction, so we'd like to get that and keep it moving forward, especially during these summer months when there's an opportunity to get that done.
Well, thank you all for coming out, I appreciate that, I think it's a great project. So we'll get a resolution and let you know when we get it on the agenda and get it passed, that way if someone comes up,
Thank
other
you.
people have questions.
Thank you.
Thanks, Obie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, at this time, we're going to open the microphone for public comment. Anyone here like to step forward?
You got what?
Public comment? Chris?
Hello again. Real quick update to the commission. It's that time of year we have sent notices to those taxpayers who are 2 or more years delinquent on the real estate tax. So if you get phone calls or emails, please direct them to me. We mailed about 290 of those statements yesterday that are certified. We've already begun calling lien holders, knocking on doors. We are desperately trying to find people, which is often what the situation is here. It is a lien sale, so obviously when we're here on the 28th of August, we're selling a lien, we're not selling the real estate. That provides the homeowner an entire extra year to redeem that lien, like we talked about a few minutes ago. So please encourage folks to get a hold of my office or me personally. We are trying to find people. I do not want to sell anybody's property, but many of these are 2 and some are 3 years delinquent, and so that is statute chapter 140, and we're going to go ahead and administer it. I've made the proper paperwork over at the police station. We will have the stretch of Pearl closed that morning, August 28th, so we will have plenty of room there on the north steps. Our goal is to get this thing down to the 2nd and 3rd offerings. If we could just sell those that have not sold before, that would be wonderful. We have a mix, an unusual mix this year of more commercial or business-owned properties than normal. So we are trying to find the owners of those businesses and make contact with them. So that's kind of where we're at. If you get any phone calls or emails, please reach out to us. We want to work with taxpayers, let them know what the options are, what the time frame is. I have put a bid in the newspaper for the publishing contract this year. We have we're down to 2 papers of record in Cass County, the North Cass Herald and our Times and Tribune here in Harrisonville. So we have placed an ad with that paper to advertise bidders to fulfill that part of the state statute, and we will begin assigning those fees in July to each parcel. So the quicker folks can pay, they'll avoid the July interest and penalty. They'll avoid the advertising fee that we place on the property in July. So really, the quicker we can get this done, the better.
So, thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Any other public comment today? Seeing none, we'll close that. Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second that. All in favor? 2 votes for, 0 against. We are adjourned.